All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are tackling one of the biggest, most mind-bending goals in all of technology, artificial general intelligence. You'll hear it called AGI.
Think about it for a second. The AI in your life right now. It's pretty useful, right? You ask your phone for the weather, it tells you. You ask for a movie recommendation, you get one. But here's the real question. Does it actually understand the world, or is it just an incredibly smart pattern matcher? That question, well, that's the perfect place for us to start.
You see, to really get a handle on what AGI is, we first have to be super clear on what it isn't. And that story begins with the AI that you and I interact with every single day. I mean, the AI we have now is powerful. There's no doubt about it. It can crush the world's best Go players, it can drive a car, it can spot a cat in a million photos, or line up your next weekend binge watch perfectly. But here's the catch. Every single one of these systems is a specialist. They are absolute geniuses in their one narrow lane, but take them out of it and they're completely lost.
And this is where we draw a really sharp line in the sand. On one side, you've got what's called artificial narrow intelligence, or AII. This is the weak AI we were just talking about. It's highly specialized. If you change the rules of the game just a little bit, it breaks. But on the other side, that's the goal, artificial general intelligence, AGI. This is what people call strong AI. It's versatile, it's adaptive, and it can take what it learns and apply it to totally new problems.
So, with that difference clear in our minds, let's talk about the grand quest itself, the mission to build a truly general intelligence. If you need a simple, powerful way to wrap your head around AGI, this is it. The whole point is to create an AI that can perform pretty much any intellectual task that a human being can. It's not about being a world champion at one thing, it's about having a broad, flexible, human-like competence across the board. Now for the more you know, formal definition. AGI is all about building a system that can work with general knowledge and reason its way through any situation that would normally need a person to figure it out. In fact, thinkers like Ben Goertzel were instrumental in popularizing the term AGI for this very reason, to make it super clear that this grand ambition was something totally different from the narrow AI everyone was used to. Okay, so if we're trying to build a mind this powerful, what are the essential ingredients? What capabilities does it absolutely positively have to have? What's in the toolkit? First and foremost, an AGI can't be a static thing. It has to be a perpetual student, constantly learning from experience, just like us. And here's the really crucial part. It has to be able to take something it learned doing one thing and apply it to something completely different. That's called transfer learning. Without that, you don't have general intelligence. You just have a bunch of separate, narrow skills. Then, you need genuine problem solving. And look, this isn't just about crunching numbers faster than a calculator. We're talking about real strategic thinking, understanding cause and effect. A true AGI would have to make good judgments, even when it's working with incomplete information. And it would need that critical skill of looking at a huge, messy problem and knowing how to break it down into smaller, solvable pieces. An AGI also has to be able to perceive the world. And, just as important, remember it. That means it has to make sense of sensory data, what it's seeing, what it's hearing, and it would need a really robust memory system, kind of like ours. You know, a short-term working memory for what it's focused on right now, and different kinds of long-term memory for facts, for past experiences, and for skills it's learned. But this next part is where things get really deep, and maybe the hardest challenge of all. It's called metacognition, which is basically thinking about thinking. An AGI would need self-awareness, to know what it's good at and what it doesn't know. It would need to be able to improve itself on its own. And maybe the most profound piece of the puzzle, it would need a theory of mind, the ability to understand that other beings, like us, have their own thoughts, their own beliefs, and their own intentions. Whoa. Okay, hold on. So if researchers have a pretty solid blueprint of the ingredients, why isn't AGI here yet? What makes this challenge so ridiculously difficult? Well, the answer is that building AGI is what's known as a wicked problem. And that's not just a cool name. It's a term for a problem where the goalposts are always moving, the requirements are contradictory, and you can't even get everyone to agree on what solved would look like. It's a problem where every solution you try might just create a whole new set of problems you never saw coming. And the roadblocks are they're massive. For starters, how do you build intelligence if the smartest people in the world can't even agree on one single definition for it? Then there are the computational demands. We're talking astronomical amounts of data, power, and memory. And then you get to the really big one, the alignment problem. How in the world do you make sure an AGI's goals are aligned with human values and ethics? And finally, a lot of our best AI today are black boxes. We put data in, we get an answer out, but we don't fully understand how it got there. That's a huge problem for safety and for trust.
So, with all of that in our heads, let's zoom out. It's time to put AGI on the full spectrum of intelligence so we can really understand its place in the grand scheme of things. The easiest way to think about this is as a 3-step progression. Step 1 is ANI, Artificial Narrow Intelligence. That's where we are right now, with all the specialist AIs. Step 2 is AGI, the big goal, an AI with human-level general smarts. And then there's Step 3, the hypothetical future, ASI, or artificial superintelligence, an intellect that would be smarter than humans in basically every way imaginable. Understanding this progression is absolutely key.
So why does all this matter? Why should you care? Because knowing the difference between the simple AI assistant on your phone and the true general intelligence that's on the horizon, that's not just trivia. It's essential. It shapes everything, our hopes, our fears, and the big conversations we need to have about the kind of future we're all building together. And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. As we get closer and closer to creating a mind that can learn literally anything, the most important challenge isn't just a technical one, it's a deeply human one. How do we make sure that this new intelligence doesn't just learn our skills, but that it also learns our values? That's the question that's going to define our future.